Hi everybody, my name's Jennifer Squires and here we make, paint, create, sew and have fun. Welcome to all our new friends. Today we're going to find out how I made these dice from Nerds Candy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out all of my moulds and make sure I have the corresponding lids to each mould. If you notice the red mark on my hand, I was testing a lip stain. This is the second day, so I'm pretty sure it's going to work for what I need. I've got all of my lids prepared. As you can see, I have already sorted out my nerds by colour. My plan is to have my D4 and my D20, the largest and smallest dice in the set, of multicoloured nerds, and then each dice will have its own colour of nerds inside it. As you can see to the side, I have a gold empty chocolate tray, and my plan is to put each dice mould, once it's filled with resin, into this tray so that I don't knock it over, because whenever I do make dice, I do end up knocking it over for the most part. As you can see, I am wearing gloves and my respirator. I always wear my PPE when I am mixing with resin because it is dangerous not to. I put 2 to 3 drops of a silver alcohol ink in here because I wanted it to have a bit of a glitter. I regret doing that. I wish I had stuck with just a single drop to give it a bit of a shine if it catches the light just the right way. But this ended up making the dice look more cloudy than glittery, I think. After mixing my resin for over 5 minutes, I put some pipettes in there to allow it to start drawing up resin, and I work on placing these fiddly little lids on my dice molds. I got my dice molds from wish.com. I don't recommend buying them if you ever plan to make dice to sell, because that's just not cool. I'm pretty sure these are a rip-off of somebody else's dice. But they're okay if you're just getting into dice making just as a little hobby at home. I'm filling up my dice molds with resin using a pipette, filling it all the way to the top to the point it overflows a small amount, because sometimes it will continue to sink in as it flows through all the nooks and crannies of the nerds, and I want it to be able to draw down resin with it. Okay, good morning. It is the next day and it is time to unmold these Rainbow Nerds dice. I've got out my little hobby shears and I'm just pulling the dice out of the molds at the moment. I'm not trimming them, I'm just checking them to see if there's any voids, and if there are, I will fix them with UV resin off camera. There were a few voids and I think 3 of the dice that I unmolded, but for the most part they turned out really well. I think the key is to set your resin in a hot water bath, which I didn't do, so that it flows a lot easier and it just sinks through all the nerds a lot easier. That is most likely why I did get voids, because I didn't set my resin in warm water to allow it to flow better. Okay, it's time to ink in the dice. I'm going with a light purple because when I was a kid, 8.5 million years ago, nerds were sold by the Wonka Candy Company, so I went with a light Wonka purple. I'm just messily painting in and then wiping away the excess with my finger. I later moved to using a baby wipe. It made it a lot easier, and I just go through and I paint every single number. Okay, so now I am wiping each face of each dice with a bit of acetone on a lint-free cloth. I'm doing this to get any paint that didn't come off when I wiped it with the baby wipe. Doing it this way once it's dry pretty much leaves the numbers intact because they have an indent where the paint sits. So if you just press lightly, it cleans the face of the die, leaving the numbers untouched. And now for the satisfying slow motion reveal. I'm really pleased with how my dice turned out, except for maybe putting a little bit too much silver. I think they looked beautiful. The colour on the numbers turned out wonderful. The nerds are bright. They didn't link any of their colouring into the resin. I'm very pleased with what I've achieved today. And that is how I made my Nerds Candy dice. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a friend. Thumbs up, thumbs down, you do you. Do all the things to please our algorithm overlords. If you'd like to see me put anything else into dice or resin, let me know, and I will see you next time.